For those of you looking for a turntable that's going to give you excellent sound quality, has all the features of the bigger, more expensive turntables, and isn't going to destroy your records like those cheap Crosleys or Jensens, you might want to look for one of these AIWA or Iowa stereo fully automatic turntables with the model number of PX-E850. This is a 2-speed magnetic cartridge turntable with a built-in preamplifier. Now, what does that mean? If you're new to turntables, well, in Turntables 101, you can actually look at the review that I did on my channel for the AT-LP60 turntable made by Technica, and this turntable is very similar to that one. And what makes this one special, and also makes the AT-LP50 special, is they both have a built-in preamp. And with turntables, just like microphones, you need a preamp before you can amplify the signal that comes out of it. So as you see here in this little cartridge here, and I don't know which brand of cartridge this is, it may be in fact Audio-Technica as well, but the magnetic cartridge that you see here has to be pre-amplified before it is amplified. So the wire goes down the Tonearm and into the system, and then down deep inside somewhere in there, excuse the dust, is a preamplifier. And that means you can connect this turntable to any amplifier you want. You can even connect it to one of these little jam speakers, which I review on my channel as well. This is the Jam 2 that has an auxiliary input on the back. So you can just plug your input into any type of amplifier that has a line in on it. Okay, this is a Bluetooth speaker, but it also has a line input. So how did we get there? Well, on the back of the turntable, you aren't going to have a miniature 3.5 millimeter plug to connect. You're going to have what's called RCA plugs, which this one has. So I am using an RCA adapter like this, which is the female connector, and that adapts it to the 3.5 millimeter. So it's just one adaptation going on here. So just simply RCA to 3.5 millimeter. Okay? So let's take a look at the sound quality of the unit. On the back here, that's the only thing you're going to find is the line output and the AC plug. And on turntables that do not have a built-in preamplifier, there's usually a little wire coming out the back, typically green, and that is for the ground that connects to your preamp. So if you don't see that wire on the back, it's more than likely that your turntable has a built-in preamp. But I can tell you this, it is more rare than it is normal for any model of turntable of this caliber to have a built-in preamp, unless you use a turntable that has a ceramic cartridge, in which case those turntables that are usually dirt cheap and really flimsy, those don't need a preamplifier. Okay, so I think we've covered a little bit of turntable theology 1.1, and maybe 1.1. So let's look at some of the features of this guy. So we've got, again, a 2-speed turntable. So there's our 33 and 45 plug, or not plug, switch. And then over here we have our start, cut, and Q buttons. It doesn't say Q, but that's what this is. So our Q button is what lifts and lowers the Tonearm in cases where you want to manually place the needle on the record, say at a different song other than the one that's at the start. Okay, so again, as I press that little button here, it lifts and lowers the Tonearm. To start playing a record, you can hit start, and if you want to interrupt the record and play something else, you would hit cut. Up here on the top, we have our 2 sizes of records, and I believe this is in centimeters. So 17 and 30, which would be, what, 7 and 12 inch. So obviously this is your 7 inch, and that's your 12 inch. And that controls where the Tonearm goes to begin playing the record. So let's throw a couple of records on. We'll start with a 45 RPM record and hear what that sounds like. And then we'll do an LP. All right, I've switched to my iPhone's microphone. And obviously to play a 45 RPM record, you're going to need one of these adapters. And a little background, I found this particular turntable at Goodwill. I paid $9 for it. And as it turns out, the turntable platter right here, this plastic platter, was warped. And it just so happens I already had one from doing a repair on another previous turntable of the same model. So all I had to do was put the belt back on and swap the turntable out. It is a belt-driven turntable, and I know it's a belt-driven turntable because I can go right over here and see that the belt is wrapped around a pulley right there. And that is actually how you kind of wire in the belt, wrap in the belt when it comes off. Okay, you do it through that little window there in the platter. All right, so let's go around here. Again, we're going to play a 45 record. And I know you've probably been rickrolled at least once this week, but I'm going to play you a little bit of Together Forever by Rick Astley, and it will we'll only play a couple seconds of it. So again, I'm going to select over here my lower number, and I'm going to hit my start, making sure that my speed is at 45 RPM, which it is. That's all we're going to play that one. Now I can hit the cut button here on the front once again. Cut, and that will cause the tone arm to go back to its resting place and shut the machine off. Okay, so now let's do an LP. And with an LP, we do not need this. Set that up on the side there. We're going to switch it to 33 RPM. We're going to switch our size to the larger number. And I'm going to play something from this record here. This is the 8 Seasons of Chromalox, and was introduced by Emerson, I believe, back in the 70s. I've had that question asked before, what is this record? And so far it hasn't gotten me in trouble with copyright infringement, so we'll see what happens here. Here we go. We're going to hit start. Notice how the record is turning slower. Oh, my cue button is still on, so I'll go ahead and press that. The record's a little bit dirty, as you can see, thanks to this powerful light I'm using. It's showing all that. Alright, so we say this song is boring. We want to move to the next one.
The season now is cold and white. And
oh boy. And then let's move over to the next song, the next band. It's got some thin bands here for the songs, so I can't see it real well.
Go inside to where there's cleaner air.
Spring, rain, cool days and warm days. Days that, once in a while, still drive you indoors to the comfort of Chromalox. Heating, cooling, cleaning the air. Chromalox devotes its products to making it a happier spring.
If I were as free as a child, why'd I wonder and honey me wild?
had a trip back to another dimension there. So anyway, as far as the tone arm, it's got a nice light tone arm, but of course you cannot set the weight on the tone arm. So what you see is what you get, and I don't have a scale to measure how heavy this tone arm is, but I've used turntables like it before and never had it tear up a record. So in any case, this is just really a quick overview of this turntable, and again, what makes it special is that it's a real turntable with a real magnetic cartridge, and that it has a built-in preamp as well. So you can pretty much use anything as your amplifier. Most highly recommended is either a pair of high-quality amplified speakers or a receiver with speakers that have a woofer and a tweeter in them, and maybe even a mid-range as well. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. If you see one of these out in your thrifting or garage selling, go ahead and pick one up. It's I'm not sure how old it is. I'm going to guess it's probably made in the 90s, maybe the 80s. Subscribe to my channel if you don't mind. Like this video and share it with a friend who is into turntables. And be sure to check out all the turntables on my channel. And thanks for watching.